Welcome to the Marxist perspective. And for this longer perspective, we're going to talk about Barack Obama and socialism. Was Barack Obama ever a socialist? No. At least not in the firebrand way that me as a Marxist like to think is my socialist comrades to be. Now, because we're picking through the things here just to show on the channel that we're long in this game. We have another one here, and this one is one I did in 2011. It's called Barack Obama and Socialism for the Rich. And I had originally published these on a website that is now defunct. I think I had like a free thing on like GoDaddy or something. I don't remember what it was, but I was making all these and I'd compiled them and I was going to make a book of them. Never did that. But anyways, I find that this really talks about that 80-20 rule that we like to talk about so much on that channel, where, just a quick update, it's where the US government, a capitalist government, it cares not for 80% of our population, but only the 20% of the top echelon and the top earners, of which probably no one watching this video right now, very few of you are going to be part of that percentile. So you may feel like you are, you may feel if you're on an ivory tower looking down saying, look at this foolish man, I am part of that. Well, you're not, I don't think. All right, unless you're like a multi-millionaire with political sway. So I digress. Barack Obama and socialism for the rich. When Barack Obama attended socialist meetings in his university days, it certainly didn't inspire him to embrace a more just or economically sustainable system. Under his leadership, I foresee no single-payer health care, no universal health care program, nor an end to corporate tax breaks. Americans will not soon enjoy the benefit of publicly owned universities, the democratic workplace, or 5-week paid vacations. Current corporate subsidies cost the average family of four $900 a year on average. So, what I mean by that, the subsidies that our government gives away every year in 2010, 2011, okay, was $900 a year on average. Look at how corporate subsidies have risen since then. So that's exorbitant for an average family of four. $900 a year to subsidize mega corporations, being gas, oil, and at that time, just like at this time, health insurance was the big one. So, as a Marxist, I find it quite infuriating to hear this president referred to as a socialist. I've never heard from any Socialist Party member here or abroad that they supported Barack Obama. John Pilger, famed Australian investigative journalist, rest in peace, and social critic, stated that Barack Obama is as reactionary and violent as George W. Bush. Like the leaders that came before him, Mr. Obama's fully embraced the same corporate consumer culture as they did. Like almost every elected official, every action or motion put forth is with the interest of the corporations in mind. 80% of society is put secondary to business interests overseas and at home. This is called by politicians and modern philosophers the 80-20 rule. And it was come up by somebody named Edward Bernays, who's considered to be the father of modern advertising and public propaganda. And that being said, he's to blame for the commercials that drive us all crazy and jingles that get caught in your head. He was the nephew of Sigmund Freud, so that's for another day. I digress. Now, our tax dollars are taken by the government and divided to the corporations: defense, broadcasting, insurance, banking, etc. What's left over is used for failing healthcare and social security systems that cannot provide even the basic fundamentals of health, liberty, nor the pursuit of happiness to the people who otherwise could decide democratically how to use their tax dollars in their own communities. So, it's quite obvious that people would decide better than corporate boards how to care for their elders and educate their youth. Would workers vote to outsource their own jobs? We would never have been given that chance in our so-called democratic society. What is freer than voting on tax dollar usage? As with the Bush administration's tax programs and subsidy spendings, the latest neoliberal administration's plan is that working people support the giant corporations via subsidies, tax exemptions, and billionaire bailout packages to the big banks. Fundamentally, both liberal and conservative parties are actually sharing a common interest. The same private sector industries of insurance, banking, and defense line up to support both candidates. Whoever is elected will already go into office with a corporate pro-capitalist agenda. Despite all of the evidence and history trying to teach us dignity, compassion, and fairness, we are still the most capitalistic and predatory country in the world today. Most Marxists knew better than to give Obama a second vote. After all, we had our own candidate in the form of the esteemed Jerry White for the Socialist Equality Party. Our candidate received about 1,130 votes. That seems a small number in a country teeming with socialists and Marxists waiting to destroy capitalism. Does Glenn Beck, again I show my age, actually believe that a man who received one of the highest corporate campaign packages in world history is a socialist? Does Sean Hannity believe that those that put up millions of dollars for Obama's campaign would be okay with public healthcare systems and free publicly owned colleges when those very own people are the heads of multinational health insurance companies? Does Rush Limbaugh believe that the military-industrial complex has been handed over to a socialist administration? Of course they don't. The ill-informed listeners do, as they hang on every opinion and anecdote of this infotainment. Socialists, Marxists are a minority in America and make a good scapegoat. How convenient for the capitalist corporate state. Convince you that a coalition of wobblies, trade unionists, social-minded ideologists, and Marxist defunct professors have ruined America. Somehow fringe socialist groups have garnered billions in funds from capitalist corporations to elect their chosen leader, Barack Obama, the Wall Street president, to take money from the masses via taxes to give to multinational corporations? Again, capitalism has been the patron deity of America since the beginning. It was not socialism that brought us where we are today. It is not Marxism or communism that brought the chickens home to roost that come here today. Did socialism and communism give us Donald John Trump? No. So perhaps those that speak so hatefully against socialism should first learn what it is. Perhaps those that detest and want to die for Marxism and against it should learn what it is. So please don't blame me. I voted for Jerry White. Now, we'll end with a quote, because I seem to like to do that back then. When great changes occur in history, when great principles are involved, as a rule, the majority are wrong. Eugene Debs. And that was the president for the Socialist Party, their candidate, Eugene Debs. Another Indiana boy.